In this and the next 3 videos, I'm going to walk you through my step-by-step process for doing a proof by mathematical induction. In part A here, we just focus on writing out the statements, P of 1, P of k, and P of k plus 1. Notice that this makes sense since in the principle of mathematical induction we see a P of 1, a P of k, and a P of k plus 1. So this first step is really just us writing down all the things that we're going to work with. All right, now first we'll start with P of 1. Okay, now in the worksheets, you'll notice that this is not included in the worksheets. Really, I just use this form P of n. But this form P of n can give students some trouble sometimes, and that it's because of this adding up to n. And so what students sometimes will do, and this is incorrect, is write 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus ... up to, and then put a 1 in for n. Now that's a mistake because when we write this, what we actually mean is this. It's the sum from 1 to n of I. And so using this right here, P of 1 is the sum from I equals 1 to 1 of I is equal to 1 times 1 plus 1 over 2. Now notice that this right here, if we're to do that, whatever that notation tells you to do, this is the sum from 1 to 1 of just the number itself. So this is just 1. So what P of 1 is actually saying, what P of 1 actually is just 1 is equal to that. That's P of 1. Now, this other notation, the notation that I use in the worksheets, this notation here, is what we might call an abusive notation, because it's not really exactly what we mean. What we exactly mean is the sum from 1 to n of I. And so that's why this is not correct. Instead, what you want to do is just think of it as if we were to continue in this, if we were to do the same thing over n times, this is what we would get. But if we were to just add 1 over 1 plus 2 plus 3, if we were just to do that n equals 1 time, all we would have is 1. Oops. So that's P of 1. 1 equals 1 times 1 plus 1 over 2. That's exactly P of 1. And if this notation trips you up here, then remember that you can always go back to the summation notation to be precise. Okay. Now P of k is just simply putting the k in wherever you see an n. So this will be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus k equals k plus 1 over 2. And P of k plus 1, same thing. Wherever you see an n, put in a k plus 1. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus Now, one thing you may notice is that what comes before k plus 1, well, that's just k. Now, if you want to include that k in the statement of k plus 1, you're certainly welcome to. You don't have to. But you'll see that over time that'll be instructive. That'll help you with your proofs.